I create a lot of opportunities in the class for, I don't know if I create a lot, but I create some opportunities in the class for students to engage offline if they want. So there's discussion boards on the Blackboard site that are not required, that you can earn some extra credit for getting involved, but I don't really harp on that. I just kind of introduce it early in the quarter and let it be, and occasionally post a new discussion and remind the class. But I don't put a lot of pressure on students to participate in that. And I do see that, except for one quarter recently, I mean, there's usually a community of about 20 to 30 students who are pretty active on the Blackboard site. Same thing in class. I mean, I do ask open-ended questions. I'll show a video clip and say, okay, what was happening there? What do we see? What are the problems? Whatever the questions happen to be. And students will give pretty thoughtful answers and ask questions to say they're really thinking about, show they're really thinking about the material. Again, things they don't have to do. They can get a little extra credit for it, but a lot of them don't even seek the extra credit for it. They just do it. And then I never know who they are, and it just happens, So there's some ways like that. And of course, that's really only a minority of the class. I mean, we're talking about a couple hundred students, and the people who are speaking actively in class on a regular basis and participating in online discussions tend to be different groups of students, but tend to be maybe 10% of the class, maybe 20% of the class. So the majority of the class is not doing those kinds of things. So I have less of an opportunity to see where they're at. I would assume that, just being realistic, I mean, there is a portion of the class that probably doesn't do what I would hope that they would do. Doesn't engage with the material the way I want to, and doesn't learn at the depth that I want to, and doesn't think at the depth that I would want to, and does find ways to kind of get by and skate through it. I don't try to control that. I mean, I accept that that's there, and I'll always work to try to continue to make the class more engaging, to keep that to a minimum. But I know that it still goes on, and I just accept it. And I do think, actually, that from my own sense, and of course I'm probably biased, but I do think that's the minority. I think the majority of the class is pretty positive and is elevated to some level in how they engage. And sometimes I see it in feedback that students choose to send me separately, whether it's in emails or the care that students put into their written comments and evaluations. To actually taking the time to say positive things rather than just leaving that blank. Like, no criticisms, take care. They actually take the time to spell out the good stuff. That I get a lot of that, and I think that says something, that students took time to share positive remarks with me. And I also get the occasional email from students saying that they had an opportunity to put what I've said into action at their current workplace, created new opportunities for them, affects the way they're going to run their own business if they're already doing so or thinking about that. So there are some really instrumental kinds of bits of feedback that show me how it's making a difference.